78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty ldbc, Lions Den basketball community in this case. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And if you're digging the video, go ahead and share this video. And of course, I'm in the building with my brother, Too Raw for TV. What's happening with it, Too Raw?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He also has another channel. Too Raw, tell the people where they can find you.
This channel, Too Raw for TV. I have a secondary channel, Too Raw for Sports, the one with the money sign at the end, and I have a Patreon for those who are interested. Almost 300 strong now. It's only $2 per month if you choose to. On the Patreon, I'm able to talk about subjects that are off limits to YouTube.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. All right. So we got Ja Morant, man. Conversation about Ja Morant. Now, when all of this hoopla started, myself, you, Ticket TV, and a few others of the brothers of our age group were trying to give the young homie Ja Morant, who's 23 years old, trying to give him some game, trying to get him to understand the error in his ways, and the decisions he makes now are going to affect him in the future and going to affect his generational wealth. And I was met with so much negativity. I ain't going to say so much. I ain't going to exaggerate. It was a few people who had a lot of negativity. Like, oh, man, well, let Ja live. Let Ja live his life. He's 23 years old. Let him live his life. I'm like, bro, you have to understand that if the path that this young man is going, he's going to ruin the hundreds of millions that he's got. He's going to ruin it. You can't move the way he's moving. All these allegations and his name coming up and all this stuff is not a good look. And I kept hearing, nah, man. Why can't he live his life? Why can't he do what he want to do? Blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you heard the same thing. I'm sure Ticket heard the same thing. Now, Ja Morant, let's go through the allegations and then let's get to the updated stuff. Off the top of my head, I remember there's an allegation that they beat up him and his crew allegedly beat up a 17-year-old at a playground over a basketball game. Another allegation, he went to a girls' high school volleyball game and acted a fool, allegedly. Another allegation, him and his team pointed a beam with a gun on it at some Indiana Pacers staff members or players or whatever. Another allegation, it was something that happened supposedly in the mall with Ja Morant. They supposedly had something to do with him threatening people. Another allegation was, this was actually actual factuals. He was in a strip club waving a gun around. He posted that himself. So now, with all this stuff going on, the imagery is that Ja Morant is a gangster. He's a thug. He's a criminal. That's what they're gonna put out there. Okay, and that's the imagery that he himself, by aligning himself with his crew, was putting out there. That's the imagery. So now that's gonna mess up his marketability. That's gonna mess up his business dealings. As a result of all his actions, Powerade removed the ads featuring Ja Morant for a time. I don't know if they're going to continue to remove them or what, but for a time they removed the ads featuring Ja Morant, and you have the NBA suspend Ja Morant 8 games. The Memphis Grizzlies suspended him, blah, 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 blah. Ja Morant has since said, hey, I'm going to enter in counseling to find a better way to deal with my problems, deal with my issues. Whatever I'm doing now ain't the way. Okay, he apologized, and Ja Morant sat down for an interview with Jalen Rose, former NBA player Jalen Rose. Ja Morant, in this interview, admitted, he basically admitted that this is not, he's not about that life. I wrote down some hot talking points here. He said, in the past we didn't know. He's talking about his crew because Jalen Rose asked him like about you know the people he hang with. He said in the past we didn't know what was at stake. Talking about him and his crew. We put ourselves in that situation because of those mistakes, right? So so now you got John Morant admitting that he put him and his team, him and his crew that he hanging with, put themselves in this situation by the decisions they were making and the mistakes he used. The word he used was mistakes that they made in the past. Okay. How do you feel about that? What's your overall take on the whole situation, Terrell?
Um, I mean, I have sympathy for John Morant. He's young. He's 23 years old. A lot of us have made, some mistakes that we definitely regret when we were that age and a little bit younger. But John Morant is not the average person, right? He's an exceptional young man who is in an exceptional role and has been afforded an exceptional opportunity to create generational wealth for his family and for his uh, ascendants, those who will come after him. And instead of just being an entertainer like he is, they can be people who can be assets to our community. They can be judges. They could be a Judge Morant. It could be a Senator Morant, a Congressman Morant. It could be people who are assets to the community. You know what I'm saying? In capacities that are, capacities that are things that we really need. So we need more of these types of young men in our lives, in our communities, who may start off as entertainers, but the generational wealth that they could create for future generations can be assets. So you don't want him to become a statistic, because that's what the system kind of want these people to do. They want us to fail. So yeah, we're rooting for John Morant, but there's a such thing as tough love. Everything isn't coddling. You sometimes, people can understand that just because we may say a critique, it's not because it's coming from a place of hate. It's coming from, we want this person to succeed. That's the problem now. Everybody want to be young people's friends, their buddies. You know what I'm saying? And they need, young people may get irritated by it, but eventually they appreciate when somebody comes at them and gives them advice that are older, that they can respect. And they know the person is telling the truth. And ultimately they will learn or they will grow to appreciate that advice. So that's how I feel about it, man. I just think that he's in a situation now where he's young and, he can dictate how history will remember him now. It's better that this is happening at age 23 than age 28 and 29, when he'll be too far set into his ways. And it may be almost impossible, except for some life-altering event, for him to change his ways.
Facts. Yep. And like you said, the older generation, it's our responsibility to teach the younger generation. Otherwise, what's our purpose? What are we here for? If you went through everything we went through in life, if you don't have no knowledge, if you haven't learned anything that you can share with the next generation, what's your purpose of being here? That's selfish. You're useless. Get out of here. We don't need you. And I love the young homie John Morant. He's 23 years old. He's a phenomenal basketball player. I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. And I want generational wealth for his whole family line. I want the Morant name to ring for generations. He is responsible for that right now. The decisions he makes affects 300 years from now. Now, I know that sounds, that's not fair. So what? Life ain't fair. But that's how everything works in this world. The decisions you make affect your children, affect your grandchildren, right? In some way or other. You have to understand that, and you have to live your life based off of that. Now, John Morant said, Another key, crucial thing I heard him say in the interview was when Jalen Rose asked about how is this affecting his family, his parents. John Morant immediately said, "Well, I was raised right." It bothered him that people were questioning his upbringing. It bothered him that people was questioning his father because he knows he was raised right. Right? He knows he's taking full responsibility. This is on me. This ain't on my mom and daddy. I was raised right. This is what I'm doing. This is what I was doing. Me and my boys was doing. So salute to him for that, for taking that ownership of that situation. He also, Jalen Rose asked him about hand signs. He said, people kind of call you a gang member. Talking about Skip Bayless.
Right.
People trying to call you a gang member. They're trying to say you this, you that because of, once this gun stuff happened, they start looking into everything you ever did. So now, what do these signs mean? John Morant said, "I'm not affiliated with no gang, not a gang member." I like this interview, right? And I know elements of it was prepared, and he was, he knew how to talk and all of that. But I believe him because this is what I said about John Morant from the beginning. He's not a street dude, regardless of what people say. Just because you outside don't mean you a street dude. Just because you in the streets don't mean you a street dude. It don't mean that. Okay? So, I believe John Morant. I believe that this was his wake-up call. I believe that this is a young man, 23 years old, who just got some money. And let's be real. 23 years old, you just get a bunch of money, millions. He want to have fun. Everything he's seen in all the TV shows and the movies and the rap videos, he never got a chance to do in high school and middle school. He want to live it up. He want to do that. He want to go get all the bad chicks from the strip club. He want to go get some guns. He want to reenact his own rap video. But the problem with that is you're a basketball player. You got sponsors, people who expect you to carry yourself a certain way and present their brand in a certain image. And that's what he didn't understand, but he understand now. Hopefully. That's what he say. He say he understand. So, what's your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, he's a basketball player. Like a rapper, even though, being a rapper is, probably the most hazardous thing to your health nowadays, but a rapper can get away with doing those things because it's usually profitable to them, promoting that type of image. The music industry want them to do certain things to a certain extent because it's profitable to them, but he's a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say something about, like you said, like redemption. It's interesting that one of the most respected players in the history of NBA is the farthest thing from a street dude. That's Kobe Bryant. Kobe wasn't a street dude, but he was the ultimate assassin, the ultimate killer, the guy that everybody respects
Right.
on the basketball court. But, you know what I'm saying? Initially, when Kobe first came to the league, a lot of people were like, oh, man, he ain't, this dude was raised overseas and he talked differently, he speaks intelligently. I don't know, but he ultimately earned his respect as a basketball player and then some. And then it's a connection to, both of these incidences with John and Kobe happened in Colorado. And it looked for a long time like Kobe's star had fallen, but Kobe came back from that. He refused to let the media dictate, what he was all about. He came out, came back, took the NBA on by storm, and became a legend. And by 2010, with the exception of a few minor haters, he was the toast of the NBA, and he has one of the greatest legacies in his NBA. So that's what I want for John Morant. I want him to go out there and force people to accept, to recognize his greatness, and not to let this incident overshadow him.
I agree. You know, I want John Morant to be successful, become a good example for the next generation before coming after him. It's not about making mistakes and um, I mean, look, we all gonna make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody
Right.
live their life a certain way.
Right.
However, some people are in positions to where they can't afford to make mistakes. Like you might not be able to make the mistakes that I make and get away with it. I
Mm-hmm.
might not be able to make the mistakes you make and get away with it, right? Because we have different lives and different responsibilities, different expectations. John Morant can't live like rappers. He can't live like this dude or that dude. Because if he does, the consequences means all his endorsements and sponsors walk away, go the other way. All right? Rappers pretty much rarely have endorsement deals. They make their money on tours and album sales and stuff like that, so it's different.
Right.
But I'm glad John Morant had his wake up call and he accepts it and he young enough to bounce back from it. I think in 3 years, ain't nobody even gonna be talking about this. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Ain't nobody gonna be talking about this. He just gotta be careful to make sure he G check the homies around him and let them know, hey bro, we gotta move different. No more X, Y, and Z. We ain't doing this no more because my name keep coming up. You know what I'm saying? And all of this stuff in the media, they're gonna take everything I do now and they're gonna enhance it. Because that's another thing. From this day forward, it's gonna be people looking for trouble with John Morant. Right? Anything he does, okay, he might be totally innocent. People are going to be looking for lawsuits, looking for allegations against John Morant at this point because he admits he put himself in this situation. You see what's happening with Michael Irvin. You see what happens with Mike Tyson. You put yourself in certain situations, it don't matter. Women can come out with allegations. Random dudes come out claiming you assaulted them or you hurt them or you made a threat to them. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, here you go, Jai again, Jai in the news again." It could be a total lie, but that's what you're about to face now. You know what I'm saying? Because of the decisions you made early on is gonna affect you later on. But once again, though, Too Raw, tell the people where they can find your channel, bro.
They can find me on YouTube at Too Raw for TV. And I have another YouTube channel, Too Raw for Sports, with the last S money sign. And they can find me on Patreon, which is another site where they're a little bit, or they're more lenient when it comes to topics. And you pretty much talk about anything. I have a Patreon over there that's Too Raw for TV as well. I just want to bring one point about
Oh yeah, go ahead,
Mike
bro.
Tyson. A lot of people forget, and the young people don't know this. At one point, man, Mike Tyson, I say like around 87, going into 88, he was probably more popular than Michael Jordan at that time.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely was more popular than Jordan in that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, he was more popular than Michael Jordan.
The only person that was more popular than Mike Tyson at that time was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And at one point, Tyson kind of had like a image that Jordan had at first when he was under Custom Model.
Right.
But we know what happened. That situation. But
Right.
I bring that up because that's how quickly things can unravel. That's how quickly the media will turn on you.
Yep. That's a fact. The media will build you up just to destroy you.
Yep.
They take pride in doing it. They'll build you up. I mean, people forget this, but everybody think Michael Jordan is so beloved. Michael Jordan. Oh, y'all just be on Michael Jordan sack. Do you understand that the same media that built Michael Jordan up to deity status tried to destroy this man when his father died?
Yep, I remember that.
They blamed this man. They was literally blaming this dude. I never seen nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, his gambling debts. They was trying to link it to the mafia and all kind of stuff.
Yep. I even seen some tabloid back then when I was a kid insinuate that he had his own father,
removed from the earth.
Yeah. Had his own father removed. So yeah, it wasn't always pretty. Oh no, I remember it was a time during those playoffs when he was feuding with the media so bad in '93 before he retired that he was only doing interviews with Amar Rashad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I remember that. It's sad, bro, but that's people forget that. They think Jordan was so beloved. He beloved now, but just like Muhammad Ali, we talk about Muhammad Ali. Everybody loved Muhammad Ali in legacy now. Everybody, every race loved Muhammad Ali. Oh, Muhammad Ali was the greatest, blah, blah, blah. But when Muhammad Ali was here on earth, when he was out here fighting, he was being destroyed in the media, calling him a draft dodger, calling him a sellout, traitor to the country, all kind of stuff, calling him a racist. They called Muhammad Ali every name under the book. You know?
Yep. And I remember Nat Fleischer, who was the founder of Ring Magazine, up until when he passed away in 1972, he would never refer to Muhammad Ali by his name.
Right.
He always called him Cassius Clay. He, just out of spite. So, and what you call it did the same thing. Rocky Marciano, he would not refer to him as Muhammad Ali. He kept calling him Clay, which was very disrespectful.
Joe Louis did too.
Yep. Kept calling him Clay. They would not respect, his name change due to his religious beliefs. They wouldn't believe him that the reason why he didn't fight was because he was a conscious objector to the war. Kept calling him a coward, which makes no sense. You're telling a man that's willing to get into the ring, literally a sport that could take him out of here. You're calling him a coward. Because essentially, if he would have fought, they probably would have not really put him on the. Well, I don't know. Some people say he would have been on the front line, but they may have just had him doing exhibitions and doing, non-risky things. But he didn't want to be in there, the war period, because he thought the war represented the wrong things. But people wouldn't listen to him.
Right.
Yeah.
All facts, man. So once again, man, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you're watching this now. Go check out Too Raw for TV. Subscribe to everything he got going on. All my links are in the description underneath this video or going across the bottom of the screen right now if you want to support what I'm doing. And we wish Ja Morant nothing but the best. He's a young brother. We want him to be successful. This is not a bashing Ja Morant video. Contrary to popular belief, we support him and we want him to maintain your money. You found you a nice lick, bro. Don't mess your lick up. Don't mess it up. You know what I'm saying? You got you a nice hustle going. You got a career. Keep that going. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess it up. So 7 Day Sports TV, salute to the mighty ldbc. My brother Too Out for TV. We up out of here. Deuces.
Peace.